पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः श्रद्ध्यन्तस्तो व्यभद्राणि विदनोते सुहृत्सताम्. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. Our Guru Shri Prabhupada, Guru Shri Guru Maharaj. So I'll share my screen. So please let me know if you can able to see this.
Yeah, I can see, but font is slow.
Okay.
Very little. You need little bit bigger. That's fine.
Okay.
That should be okay.
It's is it correct, Mataji? This it's not the worst, right?
23.
You put 24. I think. Font is slow. Very little. You need little bit bigger. That should be okay. Oh, my voice is coming.
It is 3/4/23.
Yeah, 23.
24. Font is slow.
Shri Sukha Uvacha Iti Uddhavat Upakarnya Suhritam Dushaham Vadam Jnanena Shamayatshata Sokam Utpaditam Buddha. Shri Sukha Uvacha Iti Uddhavat Upakarnya Suhritam Dushaham Vadam Jnanena Samayatshata Sokam Utpaditam Buddha. Shri Sukha Uvacha Iti Uddhavat Upakarnya Suhrutam Dushaham Vadam Jnanena Samayatshata Sokam Utpatitam Buddha. Yeah, devotees.
Shri Sukha Uvacha Ityuddhavat Upakarnya Suhridam Dushaham Padam Jnanena Samayat Katshatra Sokam Utpattitam Buddha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shri Sukha Uvacha Iti Udbhavat Upakarnyaya Suhidam Dushaham Badam Gyanena Shamayat Shatta Shokam Utpatitam Buddha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Oh, go ahead, Mataji.
No, you go.
Shri Shuka Uvacha Ityudavad Upakarnya Surdam Dusaham Vadham Jnanena Shamayachata Shokam Utpatitam Buddha. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Shri Shuka Uvacha Itya Udavad Upakarnya Suhridam Dusaham Vadam Jnanena Shamayat Chatta Shokam Utpatitam Buddha. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Shri Sukha Uvacha Iti Uddhavad Upakarnya Surhudham Dussaham Vadham Jnanena Shamayacchatta Shokam Utpatitam Buddha.
Thank you. So go to synonyms. Shri Sukha Uvacha, Shri Sukha Goswami said, Iti, thus, Uddhavat, from Uddhava, Upakarnya, hearing, Suhradam, of friends and relatives, Dushaham, unbearable, Vadam, annihilation, Jnanena, by transcendental knowledge, Asamayat, pacified himself, Shata, Vitura, Shokam, bereavement, Utpaditam, arisen, Buddha, they learned. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Arvind A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Sri Sukadev Goswami said, after hearing from Uddhava all about annihilation of his friends and relatives, the learned Vidura pacified his overwhelming bereavement by dint of his transcendental knowledge. Purport. Vidura was informed that the result of the battle of Kurukshetra was the annihilation of his friends and relatives, as well as the destruction of the Yadu dynasty, and also the passing away of the Lord. All these hurled him into bereavement for the time being, but because he was highly advanced in transcendental knowledge, he was quite competent to pacify himself by enlightenment. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, due to our long association with the bodily relationship, bereavement on account of the annihilation of friends and relatives is not at all astonishing. But one has to learn the art of subduing such bereavement with higher transcendental knowledge. The talks between Uddhava and Vidura on the topic of Krishna began at sunset, and Vidura was now further advanced in knowledge due to his association with Uddhava. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयेत् यत्र पातुमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। हरि ओम्। Hare Krishna. Translation. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, after hearing from Uddhava all about the annihilation of his friends and relatives, the learned Vidura pacified his overwhelming bereavement by the dint of his transcendental knowledge. So I'll stop sharing. I can see everyone. So here we are seeing that how actually Uddhava met, like it is coming like Uddhava and Maitreya met the Lord, and then they received the transcendental knowledge, and then Uddhava was coming on the way to Badrika Ashram, and Vidura is meeting with Uddhava here, and so now Uddhava is sharing that what happened, that how Yadu dynasty they get destroyed, and how the Lord passed away. So all of that annihilations, so Uddhava is actually explaining to Vidura. So after hearing from Vidura, after hearing from Uddhava, so Vidura now actually he is lamenting, and he is overwhelmed with bereavement, with the separation of the Yadu dynasty and also from the lordship. So he was feeling that bereavement, and Srila Prabhupada is saying the same, the translation, whatever it is given. So Prabhupada is repeating with more clear that how he came out from that bereavement. So with the dent of transcendental knowledge, because he was highly advanced. So initially he was a time being, he was actually with a separation, and then he came out from that bereavement by his advancement in transcendental knowledge. So and also he is telling that how in Bhagavad Gita, because of our long association with the bodily relationship, so that is the reason that we get attached. So that is why like we feel that because we identified that this is my body and this is my family, and in that relationship, so we get so much attached, and when someone leave the body we cannot really take it, and so we feel for that, and that is not at all astonishing because it is natural, because we are in that bodily relationship, and definitely we feel that separation. But we should actually have that spiritual knowledge so that we can able to overcome this kind of attachment. So in this context, like Bhagavad Gita is starting with that understanding only. So Krishna is actually teaching. So when Arjuna was telling that I'm not going to fight, so immediately Krishna gave that whole lesson that you're not this body, and like you're not going to kill the soul, and soul is eternal, and he gave like almost more than 15 verses about uh, you're not this body and you're the soul, and what are the nature and quality of the soul. So in this way, when we understand, for now at least theoretically we understand that yes, we are not this body and we are soul, and someone is passing away, so that time, so definitely we will feel that separation. It should be there. It's not that it's mentioned that okay, we should not feel, and if someone die and then we will go and tell them, oh, why you are to their relations, so why you are crying, so he is not the body, he is soul and he left, and soul is eternal, like that kind of philosophy. Definitely we cannot go and talk in that kind of situation, right? So it's mentioned, Srila Prabhupada always mentioned that, so devotee means it's not that okay, because of the knowledge that our heart become hard, so we are not becoming heartless devotees. So we should have a soft heart. So devotee means soft hearted. So definitely when someone leaves, so we will feel that separation, because in devotee association also we understand, like when some devotee leave the body, so how much we feel about their separation, and then we remember how much they have contributed and all those things, so we remember. So this is not bad about thinking about them, and then feeling that separation. And also one time, like when Srila Prabhupada with his disciples, so he was here in the US and then he was back to India. So when he was leaving to India, so many, most of the disciples were crying because like, oh, Prabhupada is now going, and especially when he was sick, and that time he was about to go to India. So that time most of the disciples are crying, but one disciple, he did not cry. And so Srila Prabhupada asked, like, so you don't feel so you're not feeling any separation, so everyone is crying. So that time he said, Prabhupada, you only taught us that we are not this body anyway, we are connected through soul, and it's nothing to lament. So Prabhupada said this is not correct. So this is a heartless person's behavior. So we should feel the separation from our spiritual master. So that actually show that our intense love, it's not actually attachment. So there is a big difference between the attachment and love. So when the separation is happening, so that when the separation, when we are feeling, so that actually shows our love towards them. So attachment means what? Like some people I literally saw that, so one of the person I saw that his wife left his body like 10-15 years back, but still now he is crying and crying, and he is not doing anything, and he's just always thinking about his wife. And so that is not correct, like he is not, he's doing his duty also, so that is not correct. So we have to perform our duty, but at the same time we should remember and we should love, that we should show our love. And our acharyas also showed, that's what, like whenever some Vaishnavas leave their body, so we generally sing Narottam Das Thakur bhajan, Jay Anilo Premadana. So in that what Narottam Das Thakur is singing. Vashane kuti mata anale pashiva Gauranga gunera nide kota gela pabhu Jayanilo premadana karuna pracho. So in that, Narottam Das Thakur is expressing his intense separation. So in that, what is the meaning of that? Pashane kutipo mata. So I will smash my head against the rock and enter into the fire. So it is not that, okay, he is just saying for saying. He is literally feeling that separation, that I don't want to leave. Because this bhajan, if you know the details, that when he wrote this bhajan, so actually Narottam Das Thakur was coming to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. So he was coming, he was running because his family didn't allow, and so much. It's a long story that he was arrested by their parents, but still somehow he get escaped, and then he was walking, he was running to Vrindavan. So he was running to Vrindavan in that, and then he came to Vrindavan, and then he came to know that Rupa Goswami left his body, and then he came to know Sanatan Goswami left his body, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left. Like, he was feeling so much distressed that everyone left. Like, where are my Rupa Goswami, where my Sanatan Goswami? So he was crying in intense separation, and in that mood, he wrote this bhajan. And so we can see that intense separation, that how he expressed that I cannot live, like without them, how I am going to live. So this attachment to Vaishnavas, that will help us to advance in our spiritual life. So this is not mundane attachment. This is not the material bodily attachment. So what he expressed is, where is my Gaura? Where is my Sanatan? Where is my Rupa? Where is my Goswami? Like, all are Vaishnavas. He's expressing that separation. So this should be there, but at the same time, we should understand that we should, when bodily attachment, we should not have that attachment. So when someone leaves our in our family, or someone they leaves the body, so then definitely we should lament for their separation, for their valuable contribution in our life, and then we should do the needful for them, to help them eternally as a soul. Right? So that is what it is more important. And that's what here Vitura Prabhupada says, that it is because of his transcendental knowledge. And this also brings a point that how much spiritual knowledge is very mandatory. So if spiritual knowledge is not there, it is not so easy to get out of this bereavement or this separation. So many people just leave their body because of so much attachment, right? And we know the pastime. So there is a king. So his son died, and then I forgot the name of the king. So, and then he was lamenting so much that I want his son, and then Narada Muni came and revived the son, and then finally the son was asking, like, who is my parents, like which birth he was my parent, like I have many parents. So in that pastime also we can understand that it is like, we think that yes, this life I got this family, and definitely I have to take care of them, and because it is given by Krishna, and I have to take care of them. But even if someone is leaving, so then we should understand as a soul perspective, like what I can do best for them. So if we don't have that spiritual knowledge, then it is not possible to do the needful. We just lament, and we will not do anything, and then we will go to depression, and all these things will happen. And especially in the COVID time, we might all have experienced that, how many people were just leaving their body, and then so much stressful to know like how the bodies were burnt, and without, there is no space, and they were just putting all the bodies in one place and they were burning. So by hearing all these things, so many people actually, it was in the report, statistical report, it shows that in the COVID time, the people who died because of the COVID is actually less than the people died due to this depression. So people in depression only, they died a lot more than the COVID. So so that is true because of the lack of the spiritual knowledge. So because we don't have the spiritual knowledge, why it is happening, why these things are happening, and what should I do to come out of these problems. So because we don't have that spiritual knowledge, and that's why people go into these depressions. uh, and another example also, we can see that how Arjuna was also same thing in Bhagavatam, it will come. So when Arjuna heard about this separation, or like Lord leave the planet, so when he came back, and then Yudhishthira Maharaj was asking like, why are you sad, like what happened, like he asked so different reasons, like whether you can't able to help anyone, like why you are lamenting. And then finally he asked, so did Krishna leave this planet? So at that time, like Arjuna was also in deep separation, because Arjuna and Krishna were deep friends, and now because of his separation, so Arjuna was lamenting so much. And it is also mentioned in that same verse that how Arjuna came out. So he was in separation, and then he remembers the instruction given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So, and then he pacified himself, and then he continued. So, there also it is clearly mentioned that we should have that transcendental knowledge. The spiritual knowledge is very, very important. So, it will help us to come out of any kind of stressful situations, because it is very important in this material world. Like always, the problems will be there, and if we don't know to tackle the problems, and that's why the suicide rate is increasing. So it is our responsibility as a devotee that we should learn, and that's why Srila Prabhupada actually set this standard of this Bhakti Shastri studies and Bhakti Vaibhav studies. So these studies actually, it will help us to systematically study and practice it with the association of devotees, and then we can able to share this knowledge to others. So people are looking like, many people doesn't know that why these things are happening, why it is happening to me, and I am a very nice person, like why it is problems are coming to me. So if they don't have knowledge, then that's what it causes depression for them. So one should definitely learn that art of subduing such bereavement, right? So and I always quote this verse, and it's my favorite verse from Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, Text 8, which is from Brahma's prayer. Tatte nukampam susamekshmano bhunjana yevatmakritam vipakam hritvakvapurpir vidadan namaste jivetayo muktipate sadhaya bhak. So this verse is like a medicine. It's really helped me, like personally, in whenever we go through a very tough situation in our life. Just read this verse and read the purport of Srila Prabhupada purport. Like it gives us so much confidence and so much hope. And how actually Brahmaji is saying that if someone is going through problems, and if they can patiently tolerate it without any complaint, and then understand that whatever I'm getting, it is just little, it is little reciprocation from Krishna. Actually, I have to get a so much problem, but it is because of Lord's mercy, I'm just getting token of problem. So if one understand that, then Brahmaji is saying that person is actually um, he have the full rights to claim for liberation. So how a son just to leave so that he can claim the father's property. So similarly, if someone can able to come to that point where whatever it is happening, it is all because of my karma. And actually, I supposed to get lot of problem, but it is only by Lord's mercy I'm getting token of problem, and without any complaint, accept that problem and very patiently tolerating it. So in that kind of devotee, they are eligible, or they are rightful claim. So Srila Prabhupada put this word, he have the rightful claim for liberation. So when we know this, so then we don't complain, right? So most of the time we do all the bhakti process, and then when some problem comes, immediately we complain, like, why Krishna, I am doing this much chanting, I'm doing this much service, and I'm doing for you only everything, but why this kind of problem is coming to me? So this complaint we should not do. So when we know these things, so from Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, so these scriptures are there actually to mold our intelligence to understand to how to tackle these problems. So that's why Prabhupada says, so one have to learn this art. This is an art, that how we should come out of this bereft. So only with the transcendental knowledge only we can able to come out of it. And another point here Prabhupada mentioned here is, so the talks between Uddhava and Vidura, so it actually started the sunset, and it was going till the next day morning. So the last discussion with the Uddhava and Vidura. So because of this association, also it is mentioned Vidura was now further advanced in knowledge due to his association with Uddhava. So what it talks about? So association with Vaishnavas is more important to develop this quality, because one thing is association with the scriptures, with the Bhagavatam, and another is associating with the Bhagavata, like who is practicing these scriptures. So when we associate with them, it is like what to say, it is like spreading disease, like it's so much, how it's like a very some disease are very spreading, right? So immediately it will spread. So similarly, the bhakti also, when we come in connection with a pure Vaishnavas, so it is where immediately it will spread to us also. So that's why it's a very famous verse that everyone knows, sadhu sanga, sadhu sanga, sadhu sanga sarva shastra hoy, lava matra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hoy. So lava matra, not even like 1 hour or half an hour or a minute also, even less than a second, like 1/3 of a second, if we can able to associate with pure Vaishnavas, then that will transform our life. And also this is also given in another Narottam Das Thakur bhajan, that Gangara Parasha Hoile Paschata Pavan Darshana Pavitra Koroi Tumara Gun. So in that bhajan also, Narottam Das Thakur saying, after bathing in the water of the Ganges many times, one becomes purified. Many times we have to take bath in Ganges, so then only we can purify. But just by the sight of you, O Vaishnava Gosai, the fallen souls are purified. This is your great power. So just by darshan of the Vaishnavas, pure Vaishnavas, we can able to purify it so easily. So that is the quality of a Vaishnava. So that's why we should try to associate. Our association is so important that we have to carefully choose our association. So it's not that, okay, we associate like, oh, they are also chanting, and that's why I can easily associate. So here it's very important that the point that we should not go into a kind of a judgmental. So because sometimes it leads to judgmental, that, oh, this person, he's not a very good devotee, so, oh, he is a good devotee. It's, we are not trying to do judgment here, but we should try to see who inspires me to advance in spiritual life. If I associate with this devotee, it really inspires me, so let me take association. So that's what we have to see. It's not here we are trying to see someone as down and someone is greater, because that's why our Goswamis, Rupa Goswami also says, like, we have to associate with the like-minded devotees. So the meaning is that if I associate with those people or those devotees, so they are inspiring me and I can inspire. So with each other association, we are actually nourishing ourselves, our bhakti. So in that way, we have to choose our association. So that's why our association, very common proverb, or we can say that people say that, right? So you tell me about your friend and I will tell about you, right? So that means, so who we associate, that's what we are. So that's why we have to choose our association, and definitely association, physical association, that personal association is very important. So and also the Vani association of Srila Prabhupada and spiritual masters. So this is also important. That is also association. So we should try to take as much as possible association in a day with Vaishnavas. So that actually keeps us protected from not just the material problems, but also the spiritual anarthas. So, so that is a main point we can take from this purport, that how Vidura came out of the bereavement of these separations because of the transcendental knowledge, and also because of the association, Vidura get advanced in spiritual knowledge now. So, so similarly, we should also try to develop our knowledge, and also there is a disclaimer when we say studying Bhakti Shastri or Bhakti Vaibhav, it is not to show off. It is not to show to others that, you know, now I am a Bhakti Shastri candidate. It is not for that, because it also leads to that level. If we are not studying in the right attitude, if we are not studying with the right association, so, and it can also destroy our bhakti if we don't study the scriptures in a right mood. So that's why Srila Prabhupada always says in Nectar of Instruction, in the starting, in the preface, Prabhupada put the line that advancement of a devotee is decided based on the attitude of a devotee. So this attitude word is very, very important. If our attitude is not right, then our advancement will not happen. Even if we study scriptures for many, many years, and even if we chant for many, many years. So, Trinatapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. So that is the attitude Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us. If we don't have that humble attitude, if we are puffed up with our knowledge, so then that knowledge also become the reason for our spiritual destroy. So it will destroy our spiritual life. So we should be careful, but at the same time, we should really try our best to take seriously these scriptures. And especially when we say that we don't have time to read, so I always remember that when we think that, oh, I'm not getting time, but when just remember the last time of Srila Prabhupada, last few days of Srila Prabhupada. So he just spent, even at the deathbed, he was translating. Why? Why Srila Prabhupada have to take that much effort? When he was leaving the body, he was translating books, Bhagavatam. So why he have to take, and every day he was sleeping only for 2 hours. And then he was spending his so much, in that age, he was spending so much of his time for translating all these books. Why? Because for us to read, for us to strengthen our intelligence, and to accept and understand that holy name is everything. And that is the only process which we can able to get out of all the anarthas, and to convince to that point to make us to chant. And that's why Srila Prabhupada wrote so many scriptures. And those scriptures, if you are not reading, and if you are saying that I don't have time, so that is our unfortune. So, so that's only the big takeaway I can say, that from this verse, that we should try our best to spend quality time for our personal reading and also reading with the devotees, that nourishes a lot. And I will just end here. So it is very important, if you want to develop a good relation with someone, you read scriptures with them. This is practically, I see that we did not even talk much, but when we study together for our Bhakti Shastri, it really strengthen or deepen our connection with each of us. And then we got a we get into a good relationship now, like we have a thick friends. So I personally felt that by just studying scriptures together with the devotees, that strengthen our relationship. So if you want to strengthen our relationship with the devotees, so this is also a best way. So with that, I will stop here for today. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Padit Pavan Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai. Any questions or comments, please share. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mataji. A nice class.
Thank
Lot of knowledge, Yes, we have to. Prabhupada took a lot of trouble to write all those books and everything. So that's a very nice thing we should read. We should follow that at least. And listening to like this, particular lectures, classes, that also makes a lot of difference, because I'm not a really reading person, but I want to listen to.
Yeah.
That's what my weakness. I don't know. I cannot read when I take a book. I just concentrate on that. But listening to lectures like this, it helps me a lot.
Yeah.
And
This
of course,
also reading. Hearing is also kind of reading. So there is all many audio books are there nowadays. We have all the opportunity to hear all the books. So that is also there.
And Shravanam and Kirtan are my favorite things. I know my weakness. I cannot read. I try, but this is the best thing I have. I like this. But very nice class. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. What? Anyone else have anything, or otherwise we can stop here for today. Vancha kalpatarupasha kripa
Vasantubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo.
Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav vrinda ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Mataji. Very nice class.
you.
Thanks for your association. Inspiring.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to associate and serve all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very nice class.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Thank you, Dronacharya Prabhu.